Jimmy, 1.3 to shoot, so the Hornets have to work quickly here deep in the corner. This is a pull-up three, no good from Walker. The putback, Madlock.
So what happens there, Spiro, is to your point, right? It's a quick look, and guess what? We're not the only two guys thinking it's going to be a quick shot. His teammates knew it was going to be a quick shot, and a couple of them ran right to the bucket to try to get an offensive possession.
Into the corner to Parker.
Getting a little more difficult for St. Francis to get these open shots now.
Hornets have really extended their defense. Baseline J. That's Riley Parker, massive shot.
Sure was, a poised shot I would call that too, because there was a little bumping and grinding going over there.
Australian national getting his first taste of the big dance, and he's given the red flash a three-point lead. There comes Madlock, the senior leader of this Alabama State team. A little bit short on the floater, and it's last touched by the Hornets.
Yeah, that could have been a fast layup on the follow-up just then. Watch this little bit of bumping along the baseline. Might have been an extension there. It's hard to see that with the traffic from our angle. Yeah, but that's an offensive foul that got uncalled.
Sean Fulcher had a good argument trying to beat Parker to the spot as those two continue to battle into the night here in Dayton.
Yeah, they're going over the screens as hard as they can now defensively.
St. Francis working it underneath to Moncrief, and he's going to shoot free throws. Join award-winning actress Eva Longoria for a culinary journey across Spain in the new CNN original series, Eva Longoria Searching for Spain. It premieres Sunday, April the 27th at 9 p.m. only on CNN. Rob Krimmel, former guard, 12 years as an assistant at his alma mater. Hired as the head coach by his father, Bob Sr., who is in the house tonight. Just can't imagine the emotions of a father watching his son in this kind of a moment. Can he get St. Francis their first ever win in the dance?
Yeah, 60% free throw shooter too. Moncrief at the line. Alabama State has to be ready to box out. That was a little long and hard, that first one. But St. Francis is winning this at the free throw line. There's no question about that with their points.
Again, it was Bob Sr. who hired Rob as the head coach. Remember, Sr., all those years at Penn State in the athletic department, left to become the AD at St. Francis, hiring Rob in 2012.
What a great career he had, but nothing more stressful than this.
Madlock taking contact.
Finally, they show a little different look just then. They go to the elbow, and instead of driving it to the basket, watch this quick release right here. They think they're coming up, and basically Cranford tried to cheat because he thought he was going to go over the screen. And guess what, Spiro? We have a free throw.
First free throw for the Hornets at the 5:09 mark. And there's TJ's mom, Stacy Madlock, barely there to watch.
Is it too early to say that you love March Madness?
Boy, it's hard enough you're watching a child. You're also the coach's wife. My goodness.
Don't want any part of that. Here comes some full court action again.
So 5 and change left. And here we go in a 1-point game. Parker brings it over the timeline.
So they started as a 2-2-1 full court. Now they switch back to a 2-3 to force somebody to shoot the ball.
Cranford, the hometown kid, missed it.
Great play, though, to get the hands on the ball and release it on the offensive rebound.
Parker into the corner to Kelly. Turnover.
Yeah, you see Kelly was going towards the middle of the floor just then, and he was trying to get it back to the left side into the corner, and just not enough strength on that right-handed flip back to the corner.
And we told you about the winner here. Moving on to Lexington, Kentucky, where they will take on the #1 overall seed in the field, the Auburn Tigers, in a game that'll tip off just before 3 o'clock Eastern on Thursday afternoon.
Remember John Rothstein's interview with Rob Krimmel about at halftime, we don't want to turn the basketball over.
Hines hits maybe the biggest shot of his life to put Alabama State in the lead.
And now they'll switch up. Let's see what they come back with defensively. Looks like, yep, it's It's at least a 2-3. It might be a matchup right now. So St. Francis has to recognize this and run their man-to-man sets at it. Nice work on the bait. Keeping it active. Good job.
Near side, Kelly. Three-pointer short.
Yeah, not a bad set, though, for St. Francis. The legs are getting a little weary, though, on that jumper.
Here comes Knox, contact, and he's going to shoot.
We're going to get a flurry of free throw attempts here for Alabama State.
So the Hornets, their first lead since the 15-minute mark of the first half. This gritty team from Montgomery, Alabama, in front on True TV. There's your game reset, 3:46 left to play. St. Francis and Alabama State. Red Flash leading for the majority of this game. And now the tense moments for the wives of these two head coaches, Aileen Krimmel and Stacy Madlock. Let's check in with John.
All right, Spiro. Well, Rob Krimmel just told his team, guys, we got to be poised. We have to rebound. We can't give them second shots right now. Let's be poised. Let's take care of the glass, Spiro.
Who can push the right buttons here, Jimmy, down the stretch? So if you've just hopped on with us, Alabama State didn't attempt their first free throw until just a couple of minutes ago. Amar Knox at the free throw line. Hornets have outscored St. Francis in the second half, 28-21.
Wow.
And he missed both.
78% free throw shooter, too.
Jimmy, you start to tense up a little bit in this kind of a moment.
Yeah, the kids, Spear, you like to play. You go after it. Just be aggressive with the ball. If you make a mistake, so be it. But make an aggressive mistake. Don't back your way into a mistake.
This is Damar Kelly. Probing, shot clock down to 3. He's got to hurry.
Just got to go right here.
Moncrief, the reach in, and they don't get a shot off in time.
Beautiful recognition by Alabama State just then. Not on their side, though, at St. Francis. Watch the three guys collapse and close in, knowing the shot clock was in their favor.
Just consider where this Alabama State team was late January. They sat at 9-14, 5 games under 500 before they completely transformed their season. Won 10 of their final 11 to close the regular season and ran through the SWAC tournament to earn their trip here to Dayton in the first 4. Up the floor come the red flags. This is Parker.
Yeah, got to pull that one back out. A little shaky with that pass coming across. Good recovery there by Parker. So they're setting that high screen pretty far out on the floor, too. They're not getting that mileage for the slip cut.
Cranford hounded by Octave, 7 to shoot. Cranford turns the corner, high off glass.
Boy, has he ever had a great game here in his hometown.
Well, that young man playing with some ice water in his veins. Money on the table. One of the biggest possessions of the season. And he's tied this game for St. Francis.
They're looking to drive that ball again. Watch this.
Miracle shot.
Where did that come from?
Amar Knox with a little March Magic. Riley Parker picks up the dribble down to Moncrief. Forcing his way, lost it. Octave.
Tough break for Moncrief just then, losing the ball there, and off they go to the races. Nobody even close to half court on the balance of the offense. Alabama State up 4 right now, and here's kind of one of those magical miracle type shots that we see in March. Look at where that thing came from, falling out of bounds basically, and here's the steal. Nice little strip, and Octave goes down the other way to finish this one off. Let's see what St. Francis comes out with here, Spiro. They've had Pinedo involved with some screens and slip cuts and then kickouts. But if they're going to do that, I think Pinedo has to set the screens a little closer to the three-point line. And getting there, there you go, it's better.
Crawford dials it up from deep.
Much better there because he set the screen, not 4 or 5 feet out further, but set it up closer to the three-point line. Gives your shooter the range to make a shot.
St. Francis had scored just 7 points in the last 9 minutes before that make. Madlock taking on all comers.
The son of the coach making it happen. Plenty of time here, no reason to panic.
60 seconds left.
You really don't need the three here either if you can get something going to the basket.
Kelly. Pass. Boy, Cranford, how did he save that on the sideline? 6 to shoot. Moncrief looking for some daylight. He will fire. Oh, and he buries it.
My goodness, what a shot. And how about the stop on a dime for him? Defensively, you're playing as hard as you can, and you can't keep your balance, and he steps back and puts one away. Here we go.
The madness has officially begun.
I love it.
31.6 seconds left as your game reset. See the foul situation. St. Francis, Jim digging deep. Chris Moncrief tying this game with both of these schools searching for their first ever NCAA tournament win. Winner of this one will hop on the bus, make that 2.5-hour trek to Lexington, Kentucky, with the prize being over the #1 overall seed.
Yeah, the trick to that shot, which was a great shot, but the push to get himself going towards the basket a bit, force the defender into the lane. Yeah, we go.
Jimmy, what are you talking about now with your two teams, if you're these coaches? Tony Madlock, there's Rob Krimmel.
I think what you're talking about, Spiro, is the what if. What if we make a shot at one end? What if we miss, right? Because there's a 10-second differential. So if Alabama State does not score, then St. Francis has to they'll call a timeout, most likely come down the floor and take the last shot of the game. So I'd still like to see some activity going to the basket if you're Alabama State, because they have the guards that can produce. Knox has been real good at it. So let's see if he tries to take this right to the basket, and look at the lineup right here. There's the wall waiting for it.
St. Francis is out of fouls. Knox taking some contact. No. Fight for it. Whoa. And we're going to get a foul. Madlock got possession, is fouled by Kelly.
Yep.
Unbelievable effort. And he's going to step to the free throw line for Alabama State.
You could just see that collision coming. It was coming right at us. And that's the right call. That's the right call. He didn't have a shot at the basketball, took the player out. And you see Madlock's number at 71%.
TJ's mom, Stacy, she can barely watch here in Dayton. There's your game reset, 11.8 seconds left. All tied at 68. The emotions, Rob Krimmel Sr., Rob's father, and now TJ Madlock. His mom, Stacy, looking on. Looks like, Jim, they're going to put a little bit more time on the clock, but another half second, so 12.4 seconds with TJ Madlock at the free throw line. 1-and-1 here. Madlock, 71% free throw shooter.
Make sure you're blocking out.
Short, well short. 10 seconds.
Get it to a guard if you can. Watch out, watch out.
Timeout, they turn it over, get it back. Cranford, and he coughs it up. Unreal.
Pinedo had that ball, Spiro, and you could just tell on the first dribble, as a 6'8" guy against this defense, you see that little high dribble? It wasn't a turnover or a carry there, but it was just no control whatsoever on that play. And you got a big guy with swarming guards around him. It's like you're talking about the jitters.
or the urgency level, Jim, the weight of the moment, as Alabama State will have it. 2.7 seconds left. They've just taken their final timeout. St. Francis is out of fouls. What do they draw up with Tony Madlock in that timeout huddle, with everything coming down to these final 2.7 seconds?
It'll be interesting how much time, because that was like a fumble and then some on that going down to our left. Okay, so the adjusting is at 3.4.
So they do put a little bit more time left on the clock here.
So for those of you over the weekend watching Michigan play basketball, they took the same exact type of move here. And it was, I think, 5.6 or 6 seconds on the clock. Let's see, St. Francis is going to come up. A lot of times you want to get a curl, some kind of curl going towards the basket in half court.
3.4 seconds left, and here we go. This is where dreams are made.
They're going for it all.
Simpson, home run play, the deflection.
Oh!
Layup! 0.7 seconds left. Alabama State in front.
They decided to go for the gusto on that play and threw it the length of the court, thinking that somebody was going to get a hand on it. But watch this, Bureau. Everybody gets a hand on it, and they get a friendly, more than friendly bounce to get a shot right underneath.
Well, it wasn't quite Grant Hill to Leitner,
no.
but they'll take it. Amar Knox with the play of his life. How about the pass from Simpson, nearly the full length of the court. Looks like they're going to put 3/10 on the clock. Add 3/10.
Clock will be reset to 1.0.
Clock.
The most extraordinary part of that play was, I know the ball's coming that way and everybody's going up, how the ball just stays in the air and goes towards the baseline. Nobody was able to stop it, if you will, and stop it on a dime, but the ball got touched by a bunch of guys, flicks it towards the baseline and right to the hands.
Just can't overstate the grittiness of this Alabama State squad.
And now you're going to see another baseball pass here, I would guess.
Damar Kelly will be the inbound man with the red flash. Looking for some March magic right here. Moncrief at the horn, and it is over in Dayton. Alabama State has won its first ever NCAA tournament game in a thriller.
Game summary, it's 62-58. Look at the bench points, Robbie. You've talked about that. And just back and forth. Now still, though, Colorado State has led for 28 minutes and counting in this game.
But it's also the points in the paint. And Jalen, I think, has said so many times tonight, you know, they've got to look inside. But credit Colorado State on limiting those looks. Maryland averages 36 points in the paint per game, which was good for third in the Big Ten. Tonight, only 24. So credit the Rams defense.
Down to crunch time. 6.5 left to play. Gillespie tries to tap it away. Tight defense against Clifford, who fires from 3. Still cold from distance for Nate Clifford. It'll be Maryland basketball.
Great pressure defensively by the Terps.
They've been able to force that half-court offense out towards the midline. It certainly makes life tough on a team that wants to play free and reverse the ball.
Maryland's missed its last 6 field goal attempts. Remember, they started 5 of 6 from 3 this half. They've missed their last 4 attempts. The touch to Reese gives it out to Miguel. And Miguel probing, tosses it up. Reese looking for the offensive rebound, goes into Bemba's hands.
How about the defense throw from Nate Clifford there? He's in to take away the roll. He closes out to Selton Miguel. He guards the basketball through a ball screen. That was a big-time effort.
Good defense there from Maryland to turn Evans away. Crocker Johnson knew that that was off. The Terps in desperate time for some points in the quarter court.
They got to be intentional about getting the basketball inside.
Here's Queen, who takes that bump from Crocker Johnson. His third.
With Nick Clifford, though, that last defensive possession, he's in there to take away the roll. Now you close out, you take Miguel out of rhythm. Here you get over the ball screen. You contest this, you make it a tough one in the mid-range. That is just a fantastic effort right there from Nick Clifford defensively.
And I got some crap from Fab Five advice. Their bigs, Queen and Reese, need to reintroduce themselves to their guards like Chris Webber and Juwan Howard would do with me at this point of a game. They have to be intentional to get more points in the paint, get more post-ups. Even having that aggression allows the Rams to have to play against their set defense on this end.
I think also with Bemba being a little bit banged up, we'll track that points in the paint number. 24 right now, 5:15 to play. We'll see how many more Maryland can rack up.
Clifford with the handoff back to Bemba. Tough pass to handle, but he does. He gets the two.
Clifford, a terrific three-level scorer and playmaker, making teammates around him better. Turning the corner, I think that's going to be the lion's share of their offense as we head down the stretch these last 4+ minutes.
How about the catch from Bemba? I mean, didn't handle it initially, but he finds a way, gathers, and went right up with it.
The Terps no field goals in the last 7 possessions. Here's Rice looking to change that. Crocker Johnson with the rebound.
Oh, wow.
Now Gillespie, that could be off. It is off Colorado State. A heads-up play.
That's just all effort right there from Jacoby Gillespie. Didn't give up on that play, applied some pressure, and Colorado State makes a mistake. Yeah, that's off the hand of Nick Clifford.
Crocker Johnson subbed out. Ethan Morton back in. Gillespie for 3. Raining threes again in Seattle for Maryland.
That's a mistake, though, from Nick Clifford. The way Jacoby Gillespie shoots at 41% from 3 on the year, you are not going under on that dribble handoff.
10 3-point makes now for the Terps, shooting 44% from back there. And it's a 2-point lead for Colorado State. Clifford takes a peek at the shot clock. 4 on the shot clock to Bemba. It's Queen
Great
with
rejection
a
by
block.
Queen.
And Gillespie's on the move. Finding Rice. We got a tie game at 64.
Some creative footwork there. That could have been a travel. It's a heck of a defensive play from Queen, but Maryland may be catching a break there with some steps.
The Rams offense has to be Clifford at top with the pick and roll action with one of the bigs. They drop it. He's going to get a good shot. He can turn the corner. Here we go.
Clifford mid-range. Gillespie, look at that quick crossover, dumps it up. Reese takes the contact. Bemba fouled him, and Reese will have free throws coming. 3 fouls on Bemba. We will take a timeout. Julian Reese to the free throw line when we come back. 3 ties in the latest, beginning defensively as our nonstop protection presented by Degree.
It was going to be a layup. Clifford has found Bemba all second half long. Great help from Derek Queen to fly in here and make a play on it. And in transition, Jacoby Gillespie, he does lose the basketball, but by the time he secures it, man, there's certainly a couple steps in there. Maryland catching a break with the officials, but taking advantage of the defensive stop.
Got away with a walk right there. Maryland doing a great job of converting points off turnovers. 12-2 in this game. Their guards doing a terrific job of creating pressure, especially late.
Julian Reese at the free throw line, a 73% free throw shooter. Made it clear this is my last postseason. I want to make the most of it. Second player in Maryland history with 1,000 career rebounds. I know an older sis, and I know a mother who is proud of that. Both of them really good rebounders. Angel Webb-Reese, the mom on the left side, and Angel Reese, of course, winning the national championship and playing for the Chicago Sky and the WNBA on the right side.
Well, the Baltimore native has been a bully on the block his entire career. Omar from The Wire will be proud.
3 ties, 13 different lead changes. Maryland has rallied from being 12 down. Clifford nowhere to go, swatted by Miguel.
Selton Miguel blew the play up, then got in a stance and was physical with Nique Clifford.
Gillespie using the re-screen, pocket pass, bingo for the Terps, a 9-0 run.
Great screen roll action as you've always called for, Robbie, right in the middle of the floor, get it to the big fella with a can double. He can make his soft jump hook for 2.
Well, how appropriate to go to your senior when you need points the most.
Evans, the 3's not there.
I really would like to see the Rams get Clifford in a high pick and roll action up top with one of the bigs from Maryland. They're dropping the coverage. That's an opportunity for him to either shoot a 3 or get into the paint and create for his teammates or make a mid-range shot.
Bryce looking to take it off the bounce. The floater in and out.
I would have liked to have seen Maryland just go right back to the same play. You just got Julian Reese in that little mid-range area with his left hand. Go right back to it.
Clifford, acceleration, draws the foul. He can get a shot or a free throw, it seems like, when he wants to.
And Clifford's such a great ball handler for his size. Anyone can come set the screen for him. A smaller guy or a bigger guy, it doesn't matter. He still can make a play.
Clifford, 19 points. That's just about at his average. All career highs, about 19, averaging 9 to 10 rebounds. And about 4 assists. From tip-off to the final buzzer, fan work is thirsty work. Refresh from Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? For a guy who averaged about 5.5 points per game in his career at Colorado, he has picked things up at Colorado State and has cut the lead to 2. 96 seconds to a final. Well, the last 4 losses for the Maryland Terrapins have been heartbreakers, basically buzzer beaters. You go back to Nick Martinelli of Northwestern off the glass there, or nothing but net. That's a buzzer beater with no time on. And then Trey Holloman from Michigan State. Just past half court there, or just beyond half court. That was a killer. And then Trey Donaldson going coast to coast here from Michigan in the Big Ten tournament semis.
See what you're doing there, Lisa. See what you're doing there. 2-point game. 136 remaining.
I know, right? They no strangers here to close games and possible close finishes. What Kevin Willard has liked about this team is that after those buzzer beaters, the heartbreakers, they have rallied about 3 to 4 wins after that. He's hoping that's the case here in the NCAA tournament. Gillespie in the lane, leaves it short.
But you know what? Middle pick and roll is where they need to be. Gillespie gets a good shot right there. You got Reese rolling. Now you got to get a stop.
Colorado State trailing by 2. They're one of their last 9 going into this possession. Bemba, handoff to Lake with 6 on the shot clock, pulls and ties it at 68. He's got 10 points.
What a screen, though, from Bemba to free Lake there. Lake, a guy, this is his 124th game of his career at Colorado State, coming up big for Nico Medved.
Got to look at Nico Medved's wife, Erica, who is looking at that last basket. The families and the fans are biting their fingernails. March Madness at its finest in Seattle. Colorado State 68, Maryland 68. Lisa Byington, Jalen Rose, Robbie Hummel, Andy Katz on the sideline. Our game reset. 2 timeouts left for Colorado State. 1 remaining here for Maryland. The possession will go to Colorado State in any jump ball situation. The last time the Rams were in the Sweet 16, it was 1969. They only had to win 1 game to get there. 1975, the tournament expanded to 32 teams. In 85, it expanded to 64.
Middle of the floor pick and roll. Take your pick, Reese or Queen, whoever you want.
Maryland out of the timeout. Gillespie directing traffic. Now 9 on the shot clock. Gillespie inside the lane, gets bumped a little bit, in trouble.
Oh, wow.
Clifford deflects
go.
the pass. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Miguel in desperation off the front of the rim. And Reese with the offensive rebound.
That's just size and physicality right there.
And 4 to Rashawn Bemba.
Julian Reese just pushing him under, and yeah, you can see there Bemba has a hold of the arm.
Give Bemba credit. Earlier in the game, we felt like he was questionable to return with a back injury. He's still out there battling.
And they're going to review the shot clock. The game clock is at 20.1 here right now. And see, they get the... So there was... it looked like there was time for the shot clock to reset on the offensive rebound. Here's Roger Ayers.
After review, the game clock will be reset to 22.4.
All right, so the game clock from 20.1 to 22.4. A couple of free throws will be coming for Julian Reese with the Terps in the double bonus.
Well, Reese has really worked on his free throws. Not a good free throw shooter in his career, but has put together a nice season from the line, 72%. But these are some of the biggest free throws of his life.
Very important for the Terps. He steps up and knocks down both of these.
The shot clock still in play.
Great poise by the senior.
This is Nate Clifford's time here.
17 seconds to play in the game.
Nice
Colorado State traveling by 2. And a timeout.
Good timeout. That pressure by Maryland had totally taken Colorado State out of sorts. Nate Clifford couldn't get a catch. You're heating the ball up. That was a good timeout by Nico Medved.
So 1 timeout left here for Colorado State, 1 timeout left here for Maryland. Ooh, this is what's so good about March Madness. Lisa Byington, Jalen Rose, Robbie Hummel with you. What do you expect to see out of this timeout?
Got to do a down screen, get Clifford the basketball up top. Try to see if you can get one of your bigs to come set a screen, give him an opportunity to get a three-point shot or turn the corner, get a mid-range, or drop it to one of the teammates or spread out for a jump shot.
You think about, Jalen, the way that they've contested Nate Clifford, especially in the mid-range. Those Maryland bigs, they've committed to contest. We've seen him drop it down to Bemba multiple times, but we do know it's got to be Nate Clifford who's putting the action.
But also, when they set the screen, also Maryland will switch it. So now you have Clifford with a big on him with an opportunity to make a play off the dribble.
Does it matter if you go for the win or the tie to you guys?
Best shot.
Yeah, I think if the 3 is there, you take it. If it's a 2 that gives you the better look, then that's what it is. And it's just hard on the players. You know, you feel the pressure. It is so much harder on the parents, and you see that look right there.
That was Nate Clifford's dad who couldn't even watch this. He's not even watching the timeout. Someone needs to tell him that live play hasn't happened yet.
And his heart rate's probably at about 215 right now.
They added a little bit of time, so 12 seconds left on the game clock. Remember, Colorado State, if they do go for the win, they are 1 for 11 from 3 this half.
Had some good looks, and they've honestly been a great three-point shooting team over this 11-game win streak. They've shot 47% from 3 in that stretch.
The game clock has been reset to 12.0. Colorado State ball on the sideline.
Colorado State We'll have Jalen Crocker-Johnson inbounding it from the sideline. Bemba stays in, Evans stays in. It's Clifford and Lake. Those are the 5 for Colorado State. They get it into the hands of Clifford, trying to back down Miguel. Lake, that's for the lead, gets it! Colorado State up 1! Here comes Maryland, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, calls the final timeout. Clutch for the Rams.
That's what I call clutch. Terrific playmaking and pass by Clifford, but that shot was just big time.
But you think about a guy who's played for 4 seasons at Colorado State, his 124th game. Niko Medved told us yesterday, I sometimes take him for granted. He's so solid. He always comes to work. He always has a great demeanor. And when his number's called, this is just an incredible shot. The contest by Queen, it doesn't matter. What a pass from Nick Clifford, but what a shot by the senior Jalen Lake.
Cold as an igloo.
His first year of his career averaging in double figures. The only player in Colorado State history to make it to 3 NCAA tournaments. You could call him the other senior outside of Nick Clifford, and Dad's reaction is classic.
Well, how about also the fact that Colorado State, Lisa, you said the number, they had struggled from 3 in the second half, but when they needed it most, Jalen Lake with the biggest shot of his life.
They were 1 for 11 from 3 in this second half. I asked you guys, did it matter if you're going for the win or going for the tie? And that was the shot that Colorado State was comfortable with. So what can we expect now from Maryland? Let's flip the script.
Well, you don't have much time. Right now the clock says 3.6, so you've got to get this and go. Have to assume the ball will be in the hands of Gillespie or Rodney Rice. Get it up the floor as quick as you can. You're probably going to, whoever has it, probably is going to have to take the shot because there's just not much time. Now Maryland could throw it to half court. Think about the hook and ladder type Bryce Drew play. But this is where you've been practicing late game situations for the entire season, just in case you run into a situation like this.
Maryland Terrapin fans are wondering, will this happen again? A late game-winning shot moment against the Terps. We've shown you how much they've fallen short with buzzer beaters here this year. And the game clock is up to 3.7. Look at how tough Colorado State has been when leading with 5 minutes or fewer remaining. Maryland needs 1 bucket to keep its season alive. Gillespie from the out of bounds to the freshman Queen, who's driving, floats it. Oh! Maryland on the right side of a buzzer beater with life into the Sweet 16.
And John L. Davis with 30 points, and he has scored just about every way you can. Driving the ball to the basket, pulling up, taking it, backing in on the drive, making 3-pointers, taking the back door. His previous high this year was 24 points. He did that against Texas in early February.
He has picked up steam in the last 16 games. He's averaging well over 15 points a game. Davis, corner 3. And the leaping rebound snared by Brazil. Outside Wagner, 3, no, topping the rebound.
Didn't love that shot. Offensive rebound, you got 20 seconds on the shot clock. You're up 8, and Wagner's not a great 3-point shooter by any means. Well, they've had a couple of threes go down, and sometimes you fall in love with that. They need to drive the ball to the basket.
Adu will try to watch Anderson, who goes right by him, tried to go to the trailer. He does, and inside the shot will not drop by the shooter Overton, and out of bounds, and the shot clock at 20, and Texas Tech retains possession.
Arkansas has done a lot of great things tonight. The one thing they haven't done is defensive rebound. Well, the possession's not over. Your defensive possession isn't over until you have the ball.
Williams has it into Brazil. Got it to drop.
If I'm Texas Tech now, and I think you'll see that from Grant McCaslin,
You got to get stops, and then the ball's got to get to Williams on every single possession.
This is the closest it's been this half. Davis on top. Adu will give off to Wagner. He'll dance on the perimeter. He'll work into Hawkins. He'll kick in the corner. Brazil, three, no. Rebound, pulled down by J.T. Toppin. And Hawkins in the corner of three. Good! What a shot by Anderson. 10-0 run. Are on a roll. Back here in San Francisco, three-point game. The Sweet 16 continues tomorrow with doubleheaders on CBS and TBS, all starting with Nissan NCAA tip-off show, 6:30 Eastern TBS. And Texas Tech down by 16, trailing with under 2 to go, trailing by 3.
Williams on the drive, and then Anderson with the 3 on the pass from Hawkins.
Well, they've missed a lot of open shots. You figure they're going to start to make some of those open shots. And Arkansas only 1 for 5 shooting the 3 in the second half. They've got to get the ball inside to Adu and play from there.
Axel inbound, Adu to Wagner. Adu with screen. Davis has got it, 30-point night. Orchestrating, driving, lot of defense. Look at him collapse, knocked away, got it. Shot clock at 4. Adu corner, knocks, 3, good! What a shot!
Huge shot. He is 4 for 4 from 3. Still plenty of time though. Get the ball to Williams.
Williams a 3, off. Rebound, leaping inside, picked up by Davis. And they tie up. It'll be Texas Tech's ball.
This is really something. 4 guys go around John L. Davis. Somehow he's able to recover. And then Adu makes a really good decision. You know, a lot of guys would have shot that ball, but he makes a really good decision and knocks with another 3-pointer.
Williams, Anderson, screen, Toppin, 3. Yes! Holy smokes! Back and forth in a great shootout. 1 minute to go. Wagner with it. Hawkins is on him. Davis has got it. Working on Overton. Davis, spin, lean, knocked away. Toppin swats it away. Davis hits the deck. Out of bounds, 7 on the shot clock.
Well, he drives into the middle and the defense just collapses.
And that's Toppin's 4th block of the night.
You know, if you're going to drive in and Toppin's going to come, you have to find an open guy. And Davis, he committed to shooting that ball right away.
Wagner gets it in. Brazil 3. It's picked up by Toppin. Wow. Here comes Texas Tech. Hawkins. Anderson to tie. No! Rebound inside. Gobbled up by Adu and a foul.
Smart foul. Smart foul. Adu, a 63% free throw shooter. They got a good look on the handoff. Anderson had just made a couple. And then when they didn't come up with the ball, they foul a mediocre or below free throw shooter quickly. Still a lot of time in this game.
And it's, of course, it's a 1-and-1.
He hasn't taken a free throw tonight. He's a 63% free throw shooter. He's played well over the last 8 games. He's got 6 points and 7 rebounds and some big free throws coming up. The first of which runs out. Timeout.
No,
there's an issue with the clock.
Oh, there's a clock issue, and they have stopped play.
Wow, that's unfortunate for Texas Tech
yes.
to be pushing in transition. And now Texas Tech obviously can set something up, but
the clock doesn't
Arkansas
start.
gets to set their defense.
The clock doesn't start. So now they have to figure out how long it was that the clock didn't run. And they have a stopwatch over there. They're not going to count Mississippi's. But
They're not, huh?
No.
Okay.
The clock should start as soon as the ball is touched. And they get it all the way to half court. So it's a couple of seconds anyway.
Now the officials have asked to see it at regular speed.
It's not going to be that far off. Maybe another second. I mean, it's not going to be that far off. I certainly hope they take a long time over there because nobody wants to see play resumed right now in this excitement.
Stan, this time on the clock is very important here. The 1 or 2 seconds could mean
be
everything.
a lot.
Yes. So I share with you your irritation that this has taken so long.
Arkansas led by 16. Texas Tech has only had a small lead of 2 in a game that's only had 3 lead changes. And as you guys widen the lens and they figure out the clock, how did Tech get back in this game?
Well, listen, they got back in with 22 offensive rebounds. Grant McCaslam says toughest team wins, but he doesn't mean just physically, Dan. Mental toughness to hang with the game, as frustrating as it was when you're shooting 20% from 3.
They're going to put 24.6 on the clock.
Thanks, Matt. 24.6 seconds they're going to put on the clock.
The winner goes to the Elite Eight.
The other thing that did is it gave John Calipari a chance to take Adu out of the game.
Yeah, now listen, expect Arkansas to be switching everything on the screens and staying home on any three-point shooters.
It's Williams. It's Anderson. Final 15 seconds. Anderson sets. Williams to tie a 3. Yeah!
Knox didn't get that far off him, Stan.
No, well, but he got far enough. At this point in the game, you've got to get all the way up. He didn't. And Williams got enough space to shot. I know he hasn't been making shots tonight, but the only thing that beats you right there or hurts you is a 3. Knox needed to sell out and get right into it.
It is a 16-3 Texas Tech run. Tech out of timeouts. Arkansas has 1 left.
The resilience of Texas Tech is just amazing, Dan. Darian Williams, 1 for 9 from 3 going into that shot. He's now 7 for 24 from the floor. He shot it confidently and knocked it in.
But even though he's 1 for 9, Stan, he is a big shot maker, and you're fine with that.
He was the first team selection in the Big 12 Conference. Against Drake, 28 points.
16-3 run. Part of it was Texas Tech making shots. I think part of it was Arkansas taking a few bad shots on the offensive end.
Well, and listen, there's got to be some happy people in the stands because Darian Williams probably has a large contingent here. He's another Northern California kid from right up the road in Sacramento. They watched him at a frustrating day, but a huge shot.
And they're trying to figure out how much time should be on the clock. In the last, if it's under a minute, the clock stops when the ball comes all the way through the net. So to have it at 9.7, the ball's got to be all the way through the net now is when it should stop, and that looks like it's about right.
So what do you call here if you're Arkansas?
Well, look, Arkansas is going to get the ball to somebody with a chance to drive it. It'll either be Wagner or John L. Davis, I think, as the first option, and then they'll get as much shooting around them as they can. 2 or 3 doesn't matter to Texas Tech. So Texas Tech is going to sell out and make this ball come out with an Arkansas team that hasn't shot it nearly as well in the second half. Only 2 for 10 from 3. They do not want this ball getting to the rim. Big thing here, you got to keep them off the offensive glass now. They have 11 offensive rebounds. Don't get beat on a second shot.
And if you're Arkansas, you want to take the last shot.
No question.
Knox to inbound. Wagner's got it. Defended by Hawkins. Wagner will drive and lean and fire. No tip in. No overtime in San Francisco. What a comeback by Texas Tech.
Stan, this is what you're talking about. Wagner's just trying to take the ball to the basket. John Calipari wanted a foul, but that looked...
That's great defense by Hawkins. I'm a little surprised that Toppin didn't help, but he didn't need to. Hawkins did a tremendous job.
As McCaslin told us yesterday, Hawkins' ability to defend has changed our team. It's overtime in San Francisco on TBS. This Sweet 16 overtime is made possible by Buffalo Wild Wings. Down by 16, Texas Tech has worked their way to force the first overtime game of this tournament, and the frustration of John Calipari of Arkansas.
Well, Hawkins just does a great job moving his feet, staying between Wagner and the basket, not letting him turn the corner and get to the goal. The key, though, I thought a guy who had a tremendous impact on this game was Federico. He came in the game and got offensive rebounds, and that really started the comeback. 22 offensive rebounds in the game for Texas Tech.
And he had 7 of them in only 13 minutes.
Arkansas led this game 69-56 with 4:20 to go. Here comes Anderson around the screen and gets it inside. Toppin. Rebound collected by Brazil. Oh, a goaltend. Count the 2.
And they're going to go look at it.
And they will review.
Drives the ball to the basket. It's up there.
Previous plays
it's
under review.
above the rim, and it hit the backboard.
Did it hit the backboard before
I think it
he
did.
blocked it?
Off the glass.
Or did he take it to the board?
Well, okay. That's a good question.
No, it hit the board first. You were right, Dan.
If it hits the backboard
Absolutely.
and you touch it above the rim, it's
Absolutely.
goaltending. Now, if you're below the rim, it's not. But
Well, it was. The ball hit the backboard below the rim, but... Oh, it's a great angle here. Wow, that's close.
It is close.
That is great camera work by our crew, though.
Off the glass, maybe there, and then touched by Brazil.
Yes, I think so. I certainly think it would be hard to overturn that call.
Yes.
Let's go to our rules analyst, Gene Steratore, who joins us. Gene, what do you see here?
I think the last statement was well said. I think it's off the glass.
After review, the goaltending call has been confirmed.
Yep. and what Joe Lindsay's saying confirmed, and it's off the glass even though it's below the rim. The ball still has an opportunity to go in because it's rising off the glass. In college basketball, that is goaltending. Really good job. Great camera too, fellas.
It was by Craig Silver and Andy Friedman, a 2-point lead, Texas Tech, which matches their biggest lead tonight very early in the game.
I was going to say, it's been a long time since Arkansas has been ahead.
It's Davis with a 30-point night. DJ Wagner will position. Brazil's on the wing. Williams will pick him up. What a play. Wow. Slicing down that baseline.
Trevin Brazil has really come on late in the year, showing a lot more offensive skill.
Well, he came, instead of being off the bench, he got in the starting lineup when Theo got hurt, and he's made the most of his opportunities.
Anderson with a mismatch here, and they go down low. It's Toppin. They swing it around well. Overton throws it away. A turnover for the Red Raiders, and Arkansas will take it with under 4 to go in overtime.
Look at Brazil's drive here.
Yep.
Against a pretty good defender and a strong guy inside.
Yeah, but he got himself off balance. He's trying to challenge that three-point shot, and Brazil can shoot it. But I think in that situation, you get in front of him, and you force him to shoot that three.
Davis on the move into Hawkins. Driving here is Davis up and down. Oh, they'll be talking about that for a while. Toppin picks up the foul.
What Davis draws the defense and gets it to Knox, and Knox has had one heck of a game. That's just strength in there.
It is, and he really has, other than the 1-3, hasn't been involved a lot offensively, but he was ready when it came.
Knox can't get it, though.
And he's so strong.
And now Arkansas with the 2-point lead. And Williams with the ball. Knox will pick him up. 3.5 to go. A spin by Williams. And a rebound pulled off the glass.
And that's the strength of Knox right there.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's the switch that Grant McCaslin wanted and gave Williams a chance to go one-on-one down there against a little bit smaller guy. But you're right, Knox stood up to the challenge.
Davis inside. Defended on the play by Overton.
Adu had position inside with Toppin on his back. The ball needed to go to him.
Wide open three, Hawkins. Finally it falls. 1 of 7 from 3, but it couldn't have come at a better time.
That's his first field goal of the game.
Darian Williams with a great pass.
Adu on top. Knox has got it. Makes a move, bumping into Anderson. Swatted away that time inside by Toppin with the foul. It'll go on Anderson, number 4 for the Red Raiders.
Well, here's Darian Williams coming down the floor. Really a point forward type of guy, and just finds Hawkins wide open.
You know, Arkansas a couple of times in this game has not been able to get organized going back on defense. They just lost Hawkins. Now, of course, Hawkins has shot the ball very poorly, but you give that guy that much time and space.
2 or 3 at the line for Knox.
He's an 80% free throw shooter, and when he drops that shoulder, this is an explosive, strong guy. People just bouncing off of him.
You've had 4 ties and 6 lead changes. As Texas Tech has come back from a 16-point deficit to tie it and send it to overtime, and now Arkansas is up by 1 with John Calipari's wife Ellen watching. Hawkins will take it the other way. Williams at the big shot.
Here.
Yep.
They're going to try to get Williams on a mismatch.
Works into the defense inside of Davis. Williams trying to get it. A lot of traffic, a lot of shoving and pushing. And a foul.
But what you've seen there, they can't secure the ball after the first block.
Well, Grant McCaslin getting him what he wants, the switch, to allow him to back in. But Adu comes to help.
And Davis picks up his 4th foul.
Well, and Adu blocks the shot, but then Arkansas can't control the rebound.
It's Williams at the line. 2:23 in OT.
His first free throws of the night. He's an 84% free throw shooter.
1,000-point score. Played at Nevada as a freshman. Red Raiders finish in second place in the Big 12 in the regular season. They had 8 road wins in the rugged Big 12 in conference play, and they ride that success into this tournament, beating Drake in the second round and North Carolina Wilmington in the first round. It's a 1-point Texas Tech lead. DJ Wagner. Brazil, Wagner, and Trevin Brazil. Davis has got it. Adu, screen. Davis will make a move on that baseline, knocked away. Williams, great defense by the Red Raiders, and taken by Hawkins. Under 2 to go. Hawkins with Davis all over him.
That's Williams who blocked that shot.
Toppin will move. Adu defending, up and down. It's a 3-point lead for Texas Tech.
And with the right hand, his first bucket of the night was with the right hand, but he hasn't been able to do that again tonight. Until then, he comes back to that left shoulder and knocks it in, but it started right here. Darian Williams. And now Toppin back to that left shoulder and the right hand. 3-point Tech lead.
I want to remind you, coming up next, Adam Lefko, Jay Wright, Candace Parker, and Seth Davis. What a force, and have all the highlights, news, and analysis. It's on Inside March Madness, presented by Buick, only on TBS. Duke has won. Florida has won here tonight. The #1 seeds winning. Who will play the Gators in San Francisco here in the Elite Eight? That's the question. Overtime and 1:34 to go.
Arkansas has played from ahead the entire night. And now, with 1 minute and 34 seconds left, they're down 3, which is their biggest deficit of the evening. Really important for them to see how they can play now.
Well, look, they uncharacteristically made 7 threes in the first half.
Yes.
7 for 14. They've made 2 in the last 23.5 minutes.
And I thought down the stretch, they settled for a couple of threes. But again, that's why averages are averages. You know, they came back to earth.
The regression to the mean, Dan. That's about all I know about statistics.
You're a kinesiology guy.
Davis comes off a screen. This could tie it from Brazil.
Over the last 8 games, he's been their best 3-point shooter.
He has, and he went from shooting 1 3 a game in the first 25 games to over 4 threes a game in the last 8 games.
Hawkins, Toppin, up and down!
Well, he was quiet for a long time, but the All-American's coming alive.
With the game on the line.
He's got 20. Under a minute to go in overtime. Davis off a screen, meets the defense right there of Overton. And back on top, Wagner will control it, orchestrating with Brazil, who sets a screen. Shot clock at 7. Williams defends. Wagner slices. Got it! What a shot to tie! Holy Toledo!
All right, 4.8 difference between shot clock and game clock. I think Texas Tech runs this down, Dan.
Difference of 5 seconds, game clock and shot clock.
Yeah, they're going to hold this thing and probably go with about 8 on the shot clock.
Hawkins with it and Wagner defending. And now it's Darian Williams.
And this is who you want.
Knox will pick him up. Williams corkscrews up, off, and down! It's a 2-point lead. Final seconds. Wagner with it. Driving on Hawkins. Firing off. Texas Tech has won
One more spot available in the Elite Eight. Purdue and Houston battling for the right to advance to Sunday's Elite Eight matchup against Tennessee, who earlier tonight here in Indianapolis took care of Kentucky.
Well, obviously Kelvin Sampson did not like what he saw. He's got to look to keep attacking the paint. Now, he does have his best inside scorer out of the game right now, and Roberts has a small team in the game. Tugler, his biggest guy.
Pryor, can he finally get going? No, and it goes out of bounds to Houston. Matt Painter and the Boilermakers disagree as we take another look.
Everybody's swearing it's off Tugler. Oh, yeah. Wow. And, you know, they looked at Paul Sellers to get some help, and he said, no, he's got it. He didn't have it.
Skies for the steal. Purdue in transition. Lawyer a three. It won't go, and a whistle against Kaufman-Renn.
Wow, that's full on Kaufman-Renn.
A critical call, and there's an injured Cougar still down behind the play. And it's L.J. Cryer just getting up as we take another look.
I mean, I think that was a little quick by Lawyer there. A lot of contact.
So Kaufman-Renn will come out, and he is not happy.
No, he thought that the box out was a little aggressive, that he got aggressive back, and he ends up getting called.
See how long Matt Painter can keep him there.
He can't keep him there long.
5:40 to go.
If he gets 2 minutes, he'll take it. But this lead can't get any bigger.
Sharp puts up a three.
Bad shot.
And a foul. And they're pointing at Caleb First. Purdue fans again not happy with that call as First picks up his first.
Yeah, I mean, that's a foul. He's holding, it's a foul.
And that's the 7th team foul on the Boilermakers, so it's a 1-and-1, and Kaufman-Renn's already back in the game.
So, yeah, they're going to go on offense now, so they're going to try that. But how about Braden Smith this half? Hasn't taken a shot, has 8 assists.
Tugler, a 54% free throw shooter, and he knocks in the front end of the 1-and-1. And you think about what a big swing the Lawyer three was. If that went in, it's a 3-point game. Instead, he misses the shot, and then Kaufman-Renn picks up his 4th, going for the rebound.
Yeah, and I wasn't crazy about that shot so quickly and so deep.
7-point game.
Kaufman-Renn just can't get an offensive foul.
Heidi, a deep three. It's good!
I'll tell you, this guy's been really good for them.
Heidi's second three. He's got 6 points.
They need to attack Kaufman-Renn right now.
Pryor, step back. Not his night. Heidi the rebound. Purdue has 9 field goals this half, and Smith has assists on all 9 of them for Purdue. Where will he go here?
They'll keep doubling him.
And a kick ball, stopping the clock with 4:30 to go.
I think you got to go into Kaufman-Renn, but he's got to be careful, especially on these dribble handoffs, pick and rolls. He can't set an illegal screen.
Loud chants of "Let's go Boilers." The top seed in the Midwest, Houston, playing what is very much a road game right now. Kaufman-Renn with Roberts on him, gets around him.
Great move.
He is fouled.
They get the ball into Trey Kaufman-Renn. No double. Great spin move.
And now Tugler picks up his 4th for Houston. Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12. 2 shots for Kaufman-Renn. Coming up next, Adam Lefko, Jay Wright, Candace Parker, and Seth Davis have all the highlights and analysis on Inside March Madness, presented by Buick, only on TBS. Kaufman-Renn now in double figures with 11 points. Tugler goes out with the 4 fouls.
The stats in this game are ridiculously even. When you think of the shooting percentages, the amount of threes made.
Been a good one throughout. Offense-defense substitution for Purdue with First back on the floor.
Big possession for Houston. I think they should play through Roberts. I think First will have his hands full. And then they got to go to the glass hard, because this is Purdue's small team.
Uzan with 5 to shoot. Inside it goes to Francis. His turnaround is short. Rebound out of bounds to Houston. It'll be Cougars basketball when we come back. 3:48 to go. 1 spot left in the Elite Eight. Will it be Purdue or will it be Houston? Find out when we come back. The first 2 slots in the Final Four will be filled tomorrow on TBS. It all starts with the Nissan NCAA tip-off at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Gene Steratore is with us, and Gene, take a look at this last one going out of bounds, and they called it Houston basketball.
Yeah, Andrew, as you see them fighting, to me it looks like Juwan Roberts. That ball hits off that left knee right there and goes out. Now we're outside of 2 minutes, so it's not a reviewable play, as we know. So Houston is going to get this ball, but I think clearly on that shot you see it off their knee.
We agree, Gene. Tough break for Purdue. It's Houston basketball. No field goals in the last 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Can Cryer change it? He can! Big shot and a big fist pump from Kelvin Sampson.
And what a great screen. They worked on that flare screen yesterday, and L.J. Cryer knocks out his first 3 of the night.
He was 1 for 11 before that shot. Smith, Colvin, catch and shoot 3. Can't answer, and the rebound to Uzan.
And those are the shots that he was making. There's a wide open 3. It's a good shot, a good pass across the court.
Cryer comes to get it. And now Sharp looking at the shot clock. It's down to 4. Puts up a shot. That won't go. The rebound to Heidi with 2:40 to play.
Might not be a bad time to use one of those timeouts. You got 2 left to get him back in the game.
Matt Painter thinking the same thing. The winner will play Tennessee in the Elite Eight on Sunday. Right now, a 5-point Houston advantage. Well, last Saturday in Providence, Rhode Island, St. John's against Arkansas. R.J. Lewis, St. John's' star, was having a bad night. He was 3 for 17. Rick Pitino benched him for the final 5 minutes. Here tonight, L.J. Cryer, Houston's star, was 1 for 11. Kelvin Sampson keeps him in, and he hits a big 3 a moment ago.
Well, you know how I feel about that, Andrew. I thought R.J. Lewis should have stayed in. You got to go with your best guys. I don't care how they're playing up until then.
That was Purdue's final timeout with 2:32 to go.
And you got to figure this is going to go into Kaufman-Renn somehow, some way.
Smith, Kaufman-Renn, there it is.
I'll tell you, Braden Smith can play cat and mouse with that high screen better than anybody in the country.
one possession game. 14 assists for Braden Smith, and 10 have come here in the second half. Uzan, tough shot, tipped up. Francis right to Kaufman-Renn.
And one thing, Andrew, Houston's got 2 fouls to give. I'm not saying they should just give it, but if a guy goes by him, they need to foul him so they don't get beat.
They can be aggressive in this spot, no doubt about it. Heidi fakes the 3, now steps back. Heidi won't go, and the rebound to Roberts. And now Cryer will slowly bring the ball up the floor. Houston has lost in the Sweet 16 each of the last 2 years. Trying to get to the Elite 8 and a date with Tennessee on Sunday. Cryer through the defense. Kaufman-Renn got a piece of it.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about holding the ball in that situation and only taking 5 seconds to get a shot. Well, you know where they're going.
That's foul. And a foul is called on Sharp. And that's the 5th team foul against the Cougars.
Kaufman-Renn does a great job here with 4 fouls. They could have called the 5th one there too, to be honest with you.
Speaking of 4 fouls, Joseph Tugler comes back on the floor with 1:03 to go.
Well, he's a tremendous defender. That's a good move by Kelvin Sampson. And they got him on Kaufman-Renn.
Right next to Kaufman-Renn.
They could be aggressive. They still have a foul.
Lawyer able to get it over to Kaufman-Renn. Colvin extra pass. Smith a 3. And the long rebound to Kaufman-Renn.
They don't have to take a 3, but they got to get something good.
Shot clock at 10. Everyone watching Braden Smith of Purdue. Where will he go with 5 to shoot? Smith with Roberts on him. Smith to the corner. Heidi a 3. It's good! We are tied! Timeout, Houston! Houston led by 10 with 7 minutes to play, and now we're tied with 29 seconds left.
Well, you know, Braden Smith, the guy is like a maestro. He had a feel for knowing that there was enough time for Heidi to get a shot off right at the end of the shot clock. That's what the great point guards do, and Heidi came through with a big-time 3.
Purdue has 11 field goals this half, and Smith has an assist on all 11 of them. 15 for the game for Braden Smith.
Now, right now, Houston's going to run this thing down as far as they can, but the truth is Purdue's going to get at least 4 seconds if they can get the rebound. They have to get this rebound. They don't want to foul. Houston, you got to think they're going to go pick and roll. They're going to try and get something for Cryer or Roberts in the lane.
We were at the Houston practice yesterday, and the last 10 minutes of practice were dedicated to late game situations, these exact situations. And we asked Kelvin Sampson about doing that in practice, and he said, look, when you're in a timeout late in a game, you don't have time to teach new things or go over things that you're just installing for the first time. We practice them almost every day. He feels that they are prepared for this moment right now.
There's no doubt these kids know exactly what it is he wants them to do, and now they have to go out and execute it. Again, they want to run this clock down as far as they can, obviously without getting a shot clock violation, and get a shot and then go to the glass. They'll have time to go to the glass because it's a 4-second differential.
This building has seen Gordon Hayward, Jalen Suggs, and we're about to see another tremendous finish at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah, he wants to start going when there's like 6 on the shot clock.
Uzan with 5 to shoot. Uzan, Smith to the ground. Uzan, turnaround, not there. The tip, no! And it goes out of bounds to Houston with 2.2 on the clock. And Kelvin Sampson will call his final timeout.
Yeah, that was not a great possession for Houston. Uzan ends up taking a tough shot. You really need to get something going to the basket in that situation. He could have gotten called for pushing off there too.
The out-of-bounds call on the floor is under review.
They will take another look just to confirm that it's Houston basketball.
Oh, that's he got away with one there.
Does look to be off of Heidi and Houston ball.
Yeah, I think it's off Heidi.
On the floor, it was called off of Cam Heidi.
And usually in these situations, too, they'll put something back on the clock.
Gene Steratore back with us. What do you see, Gene?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Lap Andrew. I think it's obviously off Heidi, and I've got 2.8 seconds from what I looked at on my replays for the game clock, but I think this is more of a timing thing than it is who it's off last.
Yeah. And that's plenty of time to get a good shot. Plenty of time. Let's see what Kelvin Sampson draws up.
And keep in mind, Purdue has 7 team fouls, so if they foul here, it'll send Houston to the free throw line.
Yeah, with 2.2 to go, you got to get a stop and a rebound. That's it.
Well, because of the review, this is not a Houston timeout. So if they have trouble inbounding the ball, Houston will still have a timeout to call.
And you know, really, on that play at the end when Heidi scored, you know, Houston was sitting there with a foul to give and didn't use it. But you don't want to use it there and then all of a sudden get the shot clock gets reset either. So they were kind of in a tough spot with that foul.
Not surprisingly, Steratore nailed it. 2.8 on the clock. Uzan, Cryer, Roberts, Sharp, and Tugler out there for the Cougars. Playing for a spot in the Elite Eight. Uzan gets it in, gets it back, and he puts it in! What a play! Now the officials will stop the clock to examine exactly how much time is left.
What a great play. The inbounder is always the forgotten man.
The previous play is under review for the clock.
Uzan took the ball out of bounds and stepped in. Watch how he steps in quickly. That is a tremendous out-of-bounds play by Kelvin Sampson. You talked about the special situations, Andrew. That's about as special as it gets.
And Uzan has had a special night with 22 points and 6 assists. And for now, the game-winning bucket. But there's still going to be some time for Purdue.
And you always say, don't forget the inbounder.
The clock will be reset to 0.9 seconds.
So they have time to catch and shoot. Obviously, you got to throw something at least to half court, if not further. But, you know, it's tough to get a clean catch in these situations.
Well, we're after midnight, so this somewhat ruins it. But yesterday, when the game started, on that day in 1992, was the Christian Laettner shot for Duke to beat Kentucky.
I think there was a little more time than 0.9, but I do like the fact that Houston's got a man on. They got Tugler guarding the inbounder. I think that's a good move. And in that game, Rick Pitino did not guard the inbounder.
0.9 on the clock.
The one thing that Houston does not want to do here is foul. Going for the loose ball or something, going over somebody's back. That's what you're worried about.
Only have 5 team fouls, though, so they have 1 to give.
Oh, with 1 team foul to give, this thing's over. You might as well foul them going for the ball. They're not going to be in a shooting motion.
Officials sorting something out, and now C.J. Cox hops off the bench for Purdue. And C.J. Cox will be the one to inbound.
Yeah, they couldn't make a sub because the referee stopped the game.
0.9 to go. Purdue looking for a prayer. Cox gets it in. Smith from midcourt. His turnaround is not there. And the Cougars are moving on.
Texas Tech has 3 more offensive rebounds, but look what they've done in the second chance points category tonight.
Yeah, 21-5, coming off a game where they had 22 offensive rebounds, and they've been the smaller team, significantly smaller in both games, and they're going to the line to try to get 2 more second chance points with Christian Anderson, who's probably the smallest, thinnest guy on the floor. He's got 3 offensive rebounds and a chance to make 2 free throws here.
But the other thing, Texas Tech, they wanted Florida to play in the mud. Florida is 0 for 5 with 3 turnovers in the last 10 seconds of the shot clock.
He's a 78% free throw shooter. He's a 6'1" freshman from Atlanta. He has played for the German FIBA U18 team, so he's got international experience. And he plays virtually every minute with a couple of beauties at the line, and he's got 4.
Yeah, he's only got 4 tonight. He had 22 the other night. He was their leading scorer.
Clayton stopping, starting, feeding. Condon kicks. Clayton has it. Wants the 3. Can't fake out the defense of Anderson. Now he'll drive and dive and get it to go.
Well, he's their guy, and they want it. I know Texas Tech wants to blitz that pick and roll and have 2 guys on the ball, but they didn't.
I mean, he moves so well without the ball, does Clayton. You can't deny the ball to a guy who's going to move like that.
Toppin. He's got him in a blender. Hauk was defending.
Thought he got fouled on that, too.
20 points for Toppin. Clayton got the screen, puts up a 3. Out. Hauk, the leaping rebound, parachutes in to get it. He's got 10 boards. Clayton again doubled. Williams there. Back to Hauk. Tees up a 3. Good!
This guy's been incredible. He got the offensive rebound. He gets it back for the 3, and it's a 6-point game.
Florida is out of timeouts. Texas Tech with 1. Hauk lets it fly from 3 in a 6-point game. Stan, why do you think Florida took their final timeout right there?
Yeah, it's an interesting one to take it with this much time left, but I think they're making an adjustment on the defensive end of the floor, and I think we're going to see Florida double teaming both Toppin and Williams on those post-ups and back ends because they're just destroying Florida's defense.
And Texas Tech defense is under a lot of pressure because they're trying to put so much pressure on Clayton that when Clayton shoots the ball, other guys are wide open for offensive rebound opportunities.
And you see the pressure by Florida here, and Hauk's going to face the floor and make him tough to get it in.
Toppin got open. Williams will have the ball. Hauk is tagging him and picks up the foul.
Now that's not a foul they wanted, I don't think.
He's an 84% free throw shooter. Todd Golden obviously didn't want that foul.
That's 4 on Hauk. Now, Stan, if they had fouled Toppin when he caught the ball coming in, then I'd say okay, because it's a 1-and-1.
It is a 1-and-1.
It is a 1-and-1, but he didn't want the foul. And here's the thing, when you're Florida and you've been blowing everybody out, you haven't been in a lot of close games, to look up and see yourself down 6 with 2.5 minutes to go, you start to panic a little bit. Great foul by Hauk. Great foul. Excellent decision.
That's a huge miss.
Yes, it is. Toppin's got to get up. You can't let Clayton rise for 3 on that pick and roll.
Hauk!
This guy is incredible.
Just what I said. Hauk is their closer.
Golly. He's made more money this weekend than Steve Jobs. Well, we know that. But he's made more money than Jeff Bezos this weekend.
So the missed free throw by Williams, Dan, and then they go the other way.
Well, of course, you're not 100%, but this is really a nice job to get the ball quickly to Hauk, and Williams plays off of him.
Wow. Condon picked up his second. Toppin is at the line. Another miss. Hauk the rebound.
They just left 4 points at the free throw line.
Houck. Clayton. Screen. Defense Williams. Clayton to try to tie. Clayton is on McMillan.
He's done a great job defensively tonight.
Timeout, Texas Tech. Each team out of timeouts. 9-0 run by 4 to the last minute, 23. And 1:23 to go.
And only 11 on the shot clock. Usually in this situation, they're going to get the ball to Darian Williams on an isolation and let him make a play, or they're looking for Chance McMillan coming off screens.
You put McMillan and Williams on the same side of the court, so if they go and help, then McMillan has an open shot.
Shot clock at 11.
Got to get it in.
Williams driving, Houck defends, a twirling move, and he got the deuce.
That's your guy right there. This guy's an outstanding player, multi-skilled.
It's not like what they're doing is the secret.
No, I pretty much knew what was coming.
Inside Clayton. The Gators have recaptured the lead. 28 points. Clayton.
Nobody makes more big shots than that guy.
I mean, he's amazing.
Here's the guy. Now, don't take away the middle here and give him that spin back.
Doubled, tripled. He's in a torture chamber and a tie-up. It'll be Texas Tech's ball.
Now, that was great defense by Condon. He knew he wanted to spin back. Look where he is. He gives him the middle, not letting him spin back, and forces him into a crowd. The Gators swarm him. 12 seconds.
Topping double. Williams backpedals. 3. He cannot deliver.
They're going to have to foul here.
Yes, you got to foul. You got to foul.
Get it out of Clayton's hands.
That's a, oh, it's a, they didn't need to foul there. It was going to be a 10-second violation.
It certainly was. They're going to talk about it, the referees, to see if the foul was before.
Now in college, when that clock gets to 20, it's a 10-second violation.
Yeah, you guys count correctly. In the NBA, for an 8-second violation, we have to get to 15. No, I'm serious.
But that looked like it occurred at 21.
I agree. Clock awareness, a big part of executing late in the game.
See, the shot clock, according to our screen there, was at 21.
The previous play is under review for a timing error. The call on the floor is a foul on red 5.
Bringing in now rules analyst Gene Steratore. Gene?
And Kevin, I believe that the foul occurs with 21 seconds on the shot clock, which would mean that only 9 seconds has occurred, you know, as elapsed in the 10-second. I think the foul precedes the violation.
Well, and what they're actually looking for, Michael Irving was just over here and he said they're looking to make sure that the clock stopped on when the whistle blew on the foul. The game clock, that is.
Absolutely.
There's no question in their minds that the foul occurred before the 10-second violation.
And Elijah Martin, a 74% free throw shooter.
Well, we have seen how important free throws have been.
I told you the other night, my daughter Allie knew that. That's one of the big factors she based picking her pool on, was free throw shooting, because she knows in close games how important it's going to be.
After review, The foul occurred with 21 on the shot clock, 22.2 on the game clock. The white team will shoot 1-1.
Gators are on a 12-2 run, 4 of 4 on threes during this run. This is the go-ahead shot by Walter Clayton.
Well, they stopped Clayton in the paint on the cut.
And he just dribbles it out.
He dribbles it out, and they were late getting to him.
Now they've put 22.2 on the game clock, and the ruling was that the foul did occur before the 10-second violation was called.
And it's a 1-1.
1-1 for Elijah Martin.
$20 for 22 at the line as opposed to 7 for 13 from Texas Tech.
And no timeouts for either team.
Martin 73% from the line. Texas Tech led by 10 with about 7:40 left in the second half. Trickling in.
Wow, this is interesting. Have really not, they're switching everything 1 through 5, but they went 3 big guys on the floor right now, which I haven't seen much from Texas. I've seen them actually go with 1 big guy more than 3 big guys.
Chinyelu is in.
All they're worried about is defending the 3. They want big guys out there.
There's still a lot of time. I'm getting the ball to Williams there and just going to the hole.
Outside, Williams for the tie. No! Rebound. It's collected by Florida. Tie up. The Gators have the arrow pointing in their direction.
Well, I'll tell you what. They gave up a wide open 3 to a pretty good 3-point shooter, but having those 3 bigs in there on the boards where they've gotten beaten up pretty badly tonight helped them get that defensive rebound.
How about Chinyelu just coming right off the bench and comes up with that play? Clayton fouled immediately by Williams.
Houck did a great job getting that and getting it right back to Clayton, who's an 86% free throw shooter and is 11 for 12 today.
You're absolutely right. A little thing like that. Houck doesn't hang on to the ball, it touches his hands, and it's gone to Clayton.
A lot of guys would hang on because Houck's a good free throw shooter. He's an 80% free throw shooter. But let's give it back to a guy who's been there all night long and been knocking him down.
Remember we said in the first half that he was struggling a little bit? Yeah, sure.
14-2 Gator run. 10 seconds to go.
And here down the stretch, who's the guy who's been making all the plays? Houck made a couple of big threes, but then Clayton took over.
Now, what are we doing over here now?
The officials are looking at the clock.
Well, we would never want play to just continue. The fans don't like that, watching an exciting game and having play continue. We want as many stoppages as possible.
There are no timeouts for either team, and watch it again.
Houck touches the ball.
They put 0.4 of a second on the clock.
10.6.
10.6. And Clayton will be at the stripe. 86% for the season. Tonight, 11 of 12. And the Gators as a team, 21 of 23 to the 7 of 13 free throw shooting for Texas Tech.
Well, Texas Tech was up 6, and they missed the front ends of 2 straight 1-on-1s. And this is a Florida team. If you're trying to close them out, you can't leave that door open.
Well, and this is the guy, Dan. You talked about him in the open. If it's close, they've got a closer. So the dominance hasn't been there today. They haven't gotten through this easily like they had the last 9. But when it's close, like it was with UConn, it was Walter Clayton. Today, Walter Clayton again.
Chinyelu back in for the Gators. Here we go. Hawkins. McMillan snaking inside for 2.
They have no timeouts.
In a 3-point game, 4.5, and the quick foul, and 3.4 in regulation.
Now that's going to be a 2-shot foul. So you would have to miss them both, really, to open the door at all here for Texas Tech.
The Florida Gators have lost just 2 games over the past 2 months. To get to this point in the first round, they beat Norfolk State by 26, beat UConn by 2, took care of the Maryland Terrapins by 16 in the Sweet 16. At the line is Will Richard.
And that one essentially wraps it up unless you do something dumb and beat yourself.
Chinyalu is out, Condon is in, 3.4 to go, another free throw for Will Richard.
Just wait 3.4 seconds to celebrate, though. Don't do anything stupid here.
Just get out of the way.
Absolutely.
They bring in Walton. Texas Tech does. They take out Hawkins.
It would require a miracle here for Texas Tech.
Well, Florida would have to give them something, like a flagrant foul on a 3 or something.
Williams intercepted. The Gators are going to the Final Four.
Game reset. Each team with 6 fouls. Possession arrow to Houston. Duke will be shooting free throws after the foul was called on Roberts.
Pressure on the perimeter defense of Duke because the guards are just taking over at this end, other than that little flash to the high post.
Well, we talked about Houston. They really are an isolation team. Their guards are confident, they're capable, and they have willed this team back into the game.
Tyrese Proctor, native of Sydney, Australia. Came out of the NBA Global Academy, will shoot free throws at the 3:44 mark.
You mentioned earlier, he shot 64% in the NCAA, averaging 17 points, so he's a big contributor.
He was 13 of 16 from three-point territory in the first 2 rounds. 3 of 9 entering action tonight in the last 2 rounds from 3. Second one for Proctor, the junior. Another one who reclassified to come to Duke a year early. 2 out of 2. Duke up by 6.
Yeah, he's got big responsibility with Cryer. Horn set to a high-low.
Uzan, he draws Brown, the big. Now it's Roberts against James, the guard. Bumping bodies. Roberts turns and rims out. Flat couldn't grab it.
Oh, they're going the other way with it.
Last touch by Houston.
And how about the strength of James? It's like a tree trunk. He couldn't move him when he was trying to back him down there. Looked like.
Oh, yeah, they're right. They're right.
Tugler,
Second hand.
No field goals in the last 7+ minutes for Duke, but they lead by 6. We're going to hit 3 minutes to play.
He can get it going, Proctor.
Proctor off the double, roll, kick, flat.
Fine. And a relocate.
Big one for Cooper Flag.
Pass up a good one for a great one.
25 points, 7 rebounds. It's a 9-point Blue Devils lead. Knocked away from Cryer, retrieves it with 10 to shoot. He draws flag. Wanted to step back jumper, just couldn't get his feet set. Under 4. Uzan lines it up. Off the rim, no. Tugler, offensive board. Reload, sharp. Sidestep, jumper, no good. Look at this. Cryer goes down to get it. We're down to 2:18 to play. Spin move.
The total package. What a read, what support. Filippo did his end of the job. Contest, but look from the rear. The deuce is loose.
That is the 3rd block of the night for Cooper Flag. We have 2:15 left. And Duke up by 9. 12 seconds to work with here for Houston. Uzan. go long and trapped down by Sharp.
Excellent D on the inbounds, too.
They got to work quickly here. 5 to shoot. Sharp on a stutter step, takes it inside for the deuce.
About the blow by there. Like a little tired, I think, Grant.
I think he was trying to play him on that three-point attempt. Strong drive there by Sharp.
1:50 to go. Duke leads by 7. James with Uzan. Give it up. Proctor, drive.
Boy,
he lost it.
He may have carried that just before, right?
Never had control of it there on that curl screen. Trying to get to
You're right.
Yeah.
And that is 6 turnovers now for Duke. A minute and a half to play. Sharp is met and clubbed by Brown.
And Sharp is so smart and so physical off. Yeah, he's so strong. He just kind of ran there right into Brown. Brown trying to reach out, get into the passing lane. So smart play by Sharp. Stopping the clock, get to the free throw line.
And free throws, there's a large differential. Duke is 15 of 19. Houston is 6 of 10. Sharp cans the first. 88% at the line. 6-point game, 1 more to go for Sharp. And now Malawach will check back in. He is part of this group. Duke is the tallest team in the country. We've not seen Gumba since the early going.
Remember he fell too, maybe that's part of it.
Brown has played so well.
2 out of 2 for Sharp.
Big timeout. Use that.
1:27 to play. Getting into crunch time in a 5-point game. Coming up next, get all the Final Four highlights and analysis inside March Madness, presented by Buick, only on CBS. Houston has won 17 in a row, the longest active winning streak in the nation, just ahead of Duke, who has won 15 in a row.
Extending the floor now, not known for their full court pressure. I think it'll be straight up, Grant.
Yeah, I agree, but they have Tugler on the ball. His length and foot speed, they try to trap the first pass that's inbounded.
Zion James trying to work the baseline. He's going to take the timeout.
1 to go. Dublin wants a 5-second call.
1 left for John Shire and Duke. They're up by 5. Houston has 2 timeouts remaining. Duke with 1. Blue Devils in front, 64-59 with 1:27 on the clock.
Hey, you got flag on the floor, some sort of a screen for him, throw the ball high to him.
And now you got to assume you're going to get fouled. You got to be strong with the ball, meet every pass if you're Duke.
James tries to bounce it to flag. There's contact and a foul called.
Had his arm around.
In that case, you don't need to foul on that right there. He's in the corner.
Perfect.
You got Tugler coming over for a trap. Let him catch it. Certainly that arm was on him as he was attempting to catch that pass.
It's number 2 on Emmanuel Sharp. It's a 1-and-1 here for Cooper Flag.
83%. Something quick for Houston now, too. Get into their sets. They're a little trouble getting the lead into the shot clock.
Flag is 6 of 6 tonight at the free throw line. 25 points, 7 rebounds. Gets the roll.
Coach looks like he's still coaching.
It was that same look.
Well, you know he is.
It's that look.
He's coaching inside his brain, there's no doubt.
He took a peek at you. He had bad thoughts, I think.
I think he was looking at you. 2 out of 2 for Flag. 66-59, Duke.
You're right, they got to go quick here.
Screen, Roberts, switch. Sharp has the big. Fake drive. It doesn't go, but a whistle. Wow. And Sharp is going to go to the free throw line for a pair.
Well, you got to clean up that rebound. Malawacz with a nice read and get to the point of attack as well.
And that's 4 on Malawacz.
And once again, Sharp just puts his head down. So strong attack. He's got Malawacz and Cooper flag and just seeking contact. It looked like on the windup there.
Yes.
As Malawacz was trying to block the shot. That's where he fouled him.
They felt flag was clean, and it was Malawacz called for the foul. It rims in for Emmanuel Sharp. 6-point game.
We always talk about Roberts. This kid's got a lot of toughness about him, too. Not afraid of surge in contact.
Native of Tampa, Florida. And he knocks down a pair. He has scored the last 6 points for the Cougars.
I would dribbling.
He reached over.
Yeah.
Reached technical. So Sion James trying to inbound it. Tugler trying to defend it and made contact with the ball. A technical foul. Wow. You can't do that. Gene's territory.
Most definitely, and you see him reaching over the plane. The ball was in the court, then he can. But at this point, defense is reaching through the plane, knocking the ball out. Pretty easy call, technical foul.
They're going to check it anyhow, Jane?
Yeah, I think they will, just to put a stamp on it.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, you didn't have to do it either. They were having trouble getting organized on the inbound pass.
Yeah, Kelvin Sampson went down to his knees after the call, having a conversation with JoJo Tugler, who he just went on and on about the season he's had, the improvement that he's made, the things they can do. He's a special defensive player. His recovery from one action to the ball, he said, is elite. I've never seen anything like it. His instincts.
Told us to look up one of the plays during the season, right?
That's right.
Tucker came and foul line in to negate an opportunity.
Was it the Baylor game that he mentioned?
I think it was.
Yeah. Right now, the officials are just taking a look. James Breeding.
After review, it's been ruled that black number 11 touched the ball while it was out of bounds in the thrower end. That is a Class B technical foul. Any player on the white team can shoot the ball. One shot, white team ball out of bounds with the privileges to run the baseline.
Foul.
So it happens at the 1:14 mark. Houston had cut it to 5. They had put pressure on Duke to the point where they had to take a timeout. Knipple, 92% at the free throw line.
Why not pick him?
So now a 6-point lead for the Blue Devils.
They've had trouble cutting, presenting themselves, running through the pass.
Collectively, Duke has gone 18 of 22 at the line. James gets it in. Knipple back for James. 1:09 to go. Houston not fouling.
No, going to play this one out, surprisingly.
And Duke is more than happy to use as much clock as possible. We are under a minute to play now. Shot clock is down to 10. James on a switch now has Uzan.
You do not want to foul now.
Knipple, drive. Knipple denied by Tugler. Houston comes up with a defensive stand. 6-point game. 42 seconds to go.
No threes, no fouls. You're thinking if you're Duke.
Sharp loses his footing. Uzan now with 35 seconds left. Sharp, the jumper. He's got it.
How about that?
Houston cuts it to 3 with 32.4 to go.
Man, slipped the screen right there. Sharp with the great hit, fake, and three-pointer. Houston, wow.
Emmanuel Sharp has scored the last 9 points for Houston. This is a one-possession game with 32.4 to play. Each team has a timeout remaining. Each team with 8 fouls.
I think you got to come with a different set, Grant, offensively to get the ball in bounds. And I'm sure they'll be big on the ball.
Yeah, I think you put Tugler back on the ball. You force Duke to catch it in the corner. Try to get a hard trap and maybe a steal. And if not, if you're Houston, then you have to foul.
The possession arrow is in Houston's favor if they tie up Duke.
Tucker was hurting in that timeout, but he's back. He might not be as mobile. This is a different look right now. You better sprint hard and run through the ball.
James working the baseline, trying to get it in. Knocked away.
Now this is it. You're locked into your position now on this one. This is a lot harder to inbound the ball. You can't run the baseline.
It gives them a fresh 5 seconds. 31.4 on the clock.
He wants to check it out.
He wants him to check. He thought that was a 5-second count. Kelvin Sampson wanting the officials to review that. It was close.
I think he's going to check to see if it was who hit the ball out. Maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, they can't check the 5-second count.
So Sion James, the trigger man. The ball was knocked out of bounds as he was trying to feed it, and he was walking a tightrope on the 5 seconds.
And Kelvin really wanted the timeout.
The previous play is under review for out of bounds and timing.
So it's a combination, out of bounds and timing. All right, Gene, take us through what the officials are going to be looking at.
Well, naturally, we're looking to see who's last to touch, and then with timing, with James Breeding said, I think clearly it looks to me right there with that shot that it's off Houston. And then they're looking at timing. We were 32-4 when they inbounded the basketball. We're 31-4 right now. So look, tenths matter right now. So they're going to go through every piece of this and make sure it's right.
Yeah, he was trying to feed it to Flag. It's Sharp who got his hand in there.
And Burgess, the jumper looks discombobulated too as we check the timing out.
Ooh, barely. Wow, he gets that off barely.
But did you notice two men in the same area? They're really out of joint, pounding and cutting.
There wasn't an organized set there for Duke.
The other thing, Grant, they've got 3 in front of us the last time. It's a long sprint, too. It's got to be like a bang, step back to the ball.
After review, the call on the floor of white basketball stands. The clock will be adjusted to 31.8 seconds, the time in which the ball hit out of bounds.
So they will add 0.4 of a second, 31.8. This is what Houston is all about. Tough, suffocating defense and putting teams in uncomfortable positions.
And they're going to do it again with Tucker on the basketball, locked in position. And everybody down here. Got to vacate.
For someone on Duke possibly to go long here.
Even though it drags somebody, even if you don't throw it.
Right.
67-64, Duke in front. They're trying to get to the finish line.
Face guarding, automatic switching.
A toss in by James. Floated upstairs, knocked away, claimed by Sharp. Wilson goes back, he fires. No good! It's Tucker, and he cuts it to 1. 25 seconds to play.
How about that weak side rebound?
James, bounce, a nipple. Proctor will get it across.
Gotta give it.
And he does. 20 seconds left. Wilson fouls him.
How about the organization by Houston?
Are you serious?
Grabbing on D. Never packed the tack, these kids.
Proctor at 65. He is 3 of 4 at the line. 7 points. He has not shot it well in the NCAA tournament.
Now we get off the step in now.
It's a 1-and-1. No good! Flag got his hand on it. Oh, flag over the top. It is. And now it's going to be 1-and-1 for Houston with 19.6 to play. Wow. What a change of events.
That's a play on to me.
I agree.
I mean, he was being screened out.
So it will be
The sixth-year senior, Jawan Roberts, to the free throw line with his team down by 1.
After all the contact all evening, I thought that was just a play on.
62% on the season. 19 foul against Duke.
And you got to be ready to squeeze if you're Duke, and obviously a slapback or a grab if you're Houston.
19.6 on the clock. Deep breath for Roberts. Tuck it.
How about this kid?
It's almost fitting that him being on the free throw line for Kelvin Sampson and the Houston Cougars.
Father-son relationship these two have.
Second one for Jawan Roberts.
Kelvin wants to back it off this time.
This one's for the lead. It's good. A 13-3 run over the last 2 minutes. They enter to James. Timeout. Shire takes the timeout with 17.2. What a turnaround.
Absolutely no backing off. Testimony to diligence every single day they're in the gym.
The toughness, the mental and physical toughness, just when you thought they were down, staying in the game, making plays offensively, getting stops, not giving up. That's Kelvin Sampson's basketball team at its best.
This 7-0 run over the last 15 seconds. And the pendulum has swung. It is now Duke down by 1.
It is now, Frank has to be the decision maker, I think. Knipple has to be active, whether the flare screen, the baseline bumps. You've got to initiate some contact, whoever ends up with it, I think.
I agree. I think, look, get the ball in Flagg's hands. He's your best player. He's the guy that's made this all work. Clear out a side and let him go to work. If I'm John Shire, he has the ball in his hands, and if I'm Flagg, I'm shooting.
He's the best player, but if he doesn't have a good shot, he'll find somebody too. That's the alternative.
No timeouts left for Duke.
I would bet Roberts plays Flagg for that very reason.
And maybe watch a screen. They've done these inverted screens that Houston has struggled with. Maybe force a switch. Now you get a smaller guy on Flagg, and he can operate.
And also, you got to think of offensive rebound if you get a good look.
Legends and legacy are built in these kinds of moments. Houston 68, Duke 67. 17 seconds to play. The winner goes to the national championship.
And Roberts on Flagg.
Get it in, Knipple. 15 seconds left. Now it's Flagg. Makes his move. Flagg, back in. Flagg, shot. You got to tell it. Got to foul. 3.4 when they called the foul. There's 2.5, and Houston is in the driver's seat.
Got a great look. This turnabout is absolutely extraordinary.
And look at the personal challenge defensively. Roberts making life difficult. Great contest. Cooper got a good look, but then also getting the rebound there. Great contest without fouling. I'll tell you, this Cougar team here.
The previous play is under review for a timing error.
Effort here down the stretch.
They are going to go to the monitor to check on the timing. I felt like they blew the whistle with about 3.3 or 3.4, and then some time came off the clock. It's currently at 2.5.
But just their pressure, full court got them going. Obviously making some big threes, big follows. Excellence on the defensive end.
Well, they disrupt your rhythm, and they just wear you down. But I agree. It was actually a good look. Cooper Flagg in the paint.
Right here, giving it right away.
3.8, 3.5 maybe?
Somewhere in that area. Clearly not 2.5.
Of course, for Houston, you got L.J. Cryer on the line at 1%.
the guy you want shooting these free throws.
But tonight, he is 2 of 4.
And Houston has one timeout if he makes it to set it up.
After review, the game clock will be set to 3.7 seconds, time at which the foul was recognized.
3.7. Houston up by 1. But that was the 10th team foul against Duke, so it's 2 free throws here for Cryer.
I would look for Kelvin to call the timeout if he makes this one. Just to get him organized.
Houston leads by 2. Duke has no timeouts remaining. Second one for Cryer. So poised.
The same thing. Inbound. Trap. And maybe get it.
If Houston, do you foul right away?
Yeah, maybe.
Long one. James. Knocked away. Knipple. Back outside. Proctor tosses it in. It's no good. The dream remains alive for the Houston Cougars. A furious comeback to knock off Duke and advance to the national championship game. Coming up next, get all of tonight's highlights and analysis, the trophy presentation, as well as one shining moment on Inside March Madness, presented by Buick. Largest comeback wins in the national championship. Kansas in 2022 down by 16, beat North Carolina, Loyola Chicago, Kentucky on the list, Florida down by as many as 12. Houston has got the ball up by 1. Francis is back in, playing with 4 fouls for the Cougars.
Undersized, but he's got great length. Offensive rebounding, a feature of his game. Houts on him.
Sharp gets it back from Francis. Sharp, the drive, the deuce. Didn't get a good angle. 58-55 Houston. Sharp now has 8.
We're going to milk this Horns play here, Raft.
Couldn't get to Clayton initially. And now Condon needs help. Aberdeen is there. 12 to shoot. Under 5 minutes to go. 7 on the timer. Richard, little push. Lost it off his foot. And there was a whistle on the baseline.
I don't know. It looked like there might have been some contact there, but Richard might have sold that a bit too.
It's going to be Cryer, his 3rd.
So aggressive defensively. The feet get tackled, really.
Yeah.
What a break in a sense for Richard.
There was not a whole lot of contact there. Richard lost his footing. He gets the trip to the free throw line. And a chance to cut it to 1. Chinyalu back in, replacing Hauk. We're looking to see, did he step on his foot?
Cryer stepped on his foot there. Not sure they called it on Cryer, though.
They did.
Oh, they did, excuse me.
So that's 2 out of 2 for Richard. 58-57. Cougars.
Top of can foul.
You are really showing your style and your haberdashery background.
Poor neighborhood.
Here's Francis on a give for Uzan.
They really do a nice job showing and recovering.
Roberts, hard drive. Steps up. It's his game. It's Francis.
So active, so long. Last year did a great job on that offensive glass.
12 offensive rebound for Houston. They lead by 3. We approach 4 minutes to go. Aberdeen swing. Condon was asking for it against Uzan. Now it's Richard.
They harass so much you can't get vision on the post-up.
Condon, the drive. Condon, the fade. And under. Outside and controlled by Uzan for Houston. 3:45 on the clock. Sharp, defended by Aberdeen.
Rested a little bit with Roberts. He'll roll to the goal now. Ooh, he
pick the dribble up sharp.
Cougars have scored on 4 straight possessions. Shot clock is down to 7.
Left the screen and rescreen.
Roberts, swing, Cryer, he stepped on the sideline. Turnover, Houston. That is just the 5th of the night. 3-point game, 3:24 to play in San Antonio. Who will have their one shining moment tonight? Time right now for the Capital One rewarding performance in this second half. Florida gaining steam.
They are. They're doing it on both ends. Defense, converting in offense, finding their rhythm, running that high-low set. Of course, Clayton starting to come alive, getting downhill, and just a beautiful set you talked about there. It helps having great passing bigs and guards who can deliver.
And then they did it to the right with Aberdeen. Remember, they didn't get Clayton. They got him on that little dribble drive. Nice freeing up of Clayton.
And if we go off of what's happened this tournament, it's really got to be Clayton time for Florida. He has shown that these moments he loves and is more than capable of delivering.
Call against Cryer. He was out as the pass was coming to and didn't reestablish and then touched it out of bounds. Houston.
And that's a little stagger to give him a look. Clayton goes out. Boy, have they done some great things out of a timeout. A double. Whew, is he dynamite?
He's got 11 points, 10 in the second half. We are tied at 60. Under 3 minutes to go.
Carter's got to get moving too. Can't be standing still. Looks like we're in a stop. There you go. Give him a bump.
Asking Sharp to set a screen. He does with 10 to shoot. Cryer against Clayton. Help from Hack. Francis hands to Cryer.
Nice
5 to shoot.
out.
Cryer. Head and shoulders. Fake flips it up. No, the tip in goes. The smallest man on the floor gets it done inside. 62 to 60, Houston. Cryer's got 19. Hauk. Aggressive spin, kick. Martin for the lead. No good.
Nice check. Oh, he missed it.
Richard is fouled. You have Francis helping out. Sharp was there initially defensively.
Talk about this double down, and right here, Richard Raff, he curls the screen and double screen right there. Clayton comes off, no one there, probably the cleanest look he's had all night from 3. And Cryer not giving up, not quitting the Houston way on that offensive rebound attempt. Both guards stepping up.
In pretty good hands on the back of Hauk as well.
Luzan called for the foul. Richard at the line, trying to tie this game up. Tugler is back in, playing with 4 fouls, 2:18 mark. Francis goes to the bench with 4 fouls. .84% shooter. He knocks down a pair. We have our 11th tie of the night. Just over 2 minutes to play. Hand it off. Cryer.
Same play this way. A little pin down. They got a foul. Condon holding on to Roberts. That was a nice looking set they were developing too.
And that's 10 team fouls, so 2 shots for Jawan Roberts.
Once again, all those fouls early in the second half, maybe coming back to hurt Florida here.
And it's going to be Tugler at the free throw line.
Interesting.
He's a 54% shooter. He has not attempted one tonight. Houston up by 1. 2:05 on the clock. One out of 2. Rebounded by Richard.
I think he's got to give it up. That's it.
Oh, Clayton. Oh, off the heel. Roberts is there. A minute 50 to play.
A little quick check. Yeah, but a great late contest by Sharp.
That's true. They're running some nice action though.
Uzan for Tugler. A minute 40 on the clock. Houston leads by 1. They got bunched up in the area. Uzan now controls it with 9.
He likes to get right in the lane.
Usain lines it up.
Nice piece.
It's Richard who does get a piece.
That blue shirt's all there. They should have grabbed it.
They didn't know. They weren't aware.
Yeah.
4.3 on the clock.
They're too busy trying to block out.
That's a good point.
Cougars off the offensive glass. Great contest there by Richard.
They did what their coach told them. It didn't work out well.
Got an opportunity here for Houston. 4.3 on the shot clock. Usain. Get it in. Cryer. Nice fake. Pull up. Hands. Rebounded. Knocked away for a moment. And inbounds. They're going to go the other way. They're going to have to lock that.
Yeah, I agree.
So they are going to take a look at this. It was Tugler who had it initially, and then it got knocked out of his hands, and no, he touched it last.
I think it's Florida ball. Yep.
Right call.
That should be a quickie.
It was off his left hand, trying to wrestle it away from Alex Condon.
Previous out of bounds is under review.
All right, Gene.
Yeah, guys, clearly off Tugler. I think what they'll do, they'll make that decision quick, and then I'm looking at time just to make sure that the clock is where it needs to be as well. Clearly see off the back of Tugler's left hand. Now we're looking at time and who touched it, where it touched out of bounds last.
Ron Groover, Doug Sermons, Terry Oglesby, the crew tonight for the national championship game. This looks like an open and shut case. It is Groover and Oglesby collaborating.
Get a chance to set up your team either way here. He's a great motivator, though, isn't he? He really gets into the
After
players.
reviewed, out of bounds call is confirmed. Will be Florida's ball.
1:21 on the clock.
And Raph, right now, Todd Golden got a timeout here, a free timeout here. Diagram of play. Both coaches have been so good coming out of timeouts. Nice sets. He got one for Clayton on that three-pointer earlier. Let's see what Florida executes here.
I thought they'd pick him up a little bit in the full court, Houston. Not a gambling D.
Roll it out for Clayton. Florida is down by 1. Clayton takes it. Nice Condon inside, shows it, floats it up, no. Rebound, Houck had it, and knocked it into the hands of Usain with 1:07 to play.
And how about that contest by Tugler on that Condon hook shot right there?
Under a minute left. Houston holding on to a 1-point lead. The block by Houck. Cryer didn't have a chance. Great help. Clayton over to Martin. He drives. Martin Baker, no. Foul call. 46.5.
I love the competition right now, don't you?
Both
the action.
Yeah, both teams competing, but I love Martin seeking the contact there, going at the body of the shot blocker, drawing a foul, and I think that's 5 on Tugler.
It is, and how about this? The defense there couldn't prevent, but the other end, Florida's 2 bigs were magnificent on the triple drive.
So Joseph Tugler's night is done. Elijah Martin to the free throw line where he shoots it at 76%. We're all tied up. Florida has led for a grand total of 17 seconds tonight. They're up by 1.
I think we want a timeout now, but Todd called it first.
First lead since 8-6. We have 46.5 left in the national championship. Florida leads Houston 64-63 on game reset. Each team has 1 timeout remaining. Both teams are in the double bonus. Possession arrow favors the Gators. Houston has possession. And a lot of prayers with 46.5 on the clock.
And they're usually patient on the offensive end. I guess the thought, 2 for 1, I think you go for the first good one, don't you?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of people think the 2 for 1 action, but Kelvin Sampson, he's going to get the shot he wants. It's a matter of who is he going to go to. Cryer has been the hot hand.
I like Cryer, but I love Roberts.
I like Roberts too, and also Sharp getting downhill, so physical as a driver and his ability to draw fouls.
And the only problem with Roberts is the free throw shooting too.
We're down to 40 seconds remaining in a one-point game.
Cryer, nice defense.
Shot clock down to 15. Sharp using the screen. Sharp with 10.
She lost it.
Out of bounds! Turnover, Houston. 26.5 remaining.
There really was nothing there.
Look at the help, though. The stunt from the side there, just so alert.
And Richard.
Yeah, to help his partner out.
They will review it, but it was clear.
Boy, the bigs have adjusted great, I think, defensively for Florida.
Previous out of bounds is under review.
Containing some quicker people on dribble drives.
We saw it earlier with Cryer. He tried to drive baseline against the bigs, a turnover, and then right there, Condon sliding his feet. Great reach in there by Richard.
Jim, we see Richard get a piece, but the ball then hits the knee of Sharp.
Yeah, good hands by Richard off the right knee is Sharp, and I think 26-5 on the game clock is a good number too, Ian. Could be a 10th maybe, but I think it's a good clock stoppage as well.
So the shot clock will be turned off. Florida will have possession, up by 1.
We've been here before. You know, if Florida has the ball, it appears they will. Getting the ball inbounds against the pressure, you know they're going to pick up full court, face guard. We saw this Saturday night.
And the one thing they can't do is have too many people down here as they take another look at this.
How about the courage of Richard to reach in on that play?
After review, the out-of-bounds call is confirmed. The Florida ball. Game clock will be set to 26.6 seconds.
You're going to see big on the ball right now. They're excited. Why not? Pretty good defensive play. Right now, Francis on the ball. And I like the piece of officiating now. They're saying to Francis, you can't go over the line. Letting them know. Of course, you're locked in place here as well. Got to make distinct cuts. Run through the ball and be tough with it.
Houston had a wild comeback against Duke. Duke couldn't get the ball in cleanly. Florida does. They surround Houck. Now to Clayton. Ahead. Over Aberdeen's head. He tracks it down, and then there's contact. Uzan will get called for the foul with 19.7.
And almost a turnover there on that pass.
His foot was almost on the line as they had pushed. Actually, not a bad foul when you think of it, though. Stop the clock right away. Put the pressure on the free throw shooter, but I think they called it before.
They did. It was bang, bang. Aberdeen's got 6 points. He's 2 of 2 at the free throw line.
Try and slap it back if you're in a blue shirt. Conversely, all these coaches, most of these high-level guys, they teach their kids to squeeze and go after it.
A second attempt for Aberdeen. Duke left the door open for Houston. The Cougars completed the furious comeback. Aberdeen makes the second attempt at 65-63.
Timeout, Houston.
19.7 to play.
Dana had to come back, Bird. Did it in Kansas. Miraculous turnarounds.
The Cougars are out of timeouts. Got a 2-point game in San Antonio. The road ends here tonight. Florida 65, Houston 63. Cougars with the basketball, 19.7 to play.
The reshooters on the floor, but I still think you got to go for the 2. You might end up with a 3 if the defense covers for you. Big thing, no 3s. Run them off that line.
Run them off the line if you're Florida. If you're Houston, get the ball in Cryer's hands. Let him try to get a good shot downhill into the paint, and 4 guys will go to the glass if you're Houston. Cryer and offensive rebounds for the Cougars.
And Roberts a guy, they go 2-2, and that foul line has been a dilemma. They made the 2 big ones the other night.
National championship is in the balance. 13 seconds left. Florida leads it by 2.
Uzan gonna go.
Uzan, give it up. Cryer, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, Sharp.
He walked, he can't touch it.
He can't. 1 second.